Hello and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no holds barred forum for leaders and innovators. I am LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group as well as the Bradford Group Consulting, and I am so excited to be here with none other than the amazing Nancy Matthews. Nancy, how's it going?
It's going great. I am so delighted to be here. Thank you for having me on the show. And thank you for bringing such valuable conversations to all of us in the beautiful, powerful way that you do, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I want to tell our audience a little bit about you. Nancy is phenomenal. I don't just say that because she's my friend, but she's truly an inspiring leader. She's known as a visionary with guts. She is a co founder of Women's Prosperity Network, an international community designed to help women in business to level up their game, to be the best that they can so that they can have influence and impact around the world. She is also a speaker, international best-selling author, influencer, leader, teacher, coach, and she has just founded a new organization called the People Skills Academy, and she is the author of The One Philosophy. So we're, believe it or not, going to get into all of that good stuff during this conversation. And for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, what Business and Financial Raw Talk is, it's a platform where I bring leaders on the stage who have a unique perspective in how they look at life, business, and finances. So this is designed to kind of challenge you a little bit in your thinking, expand your thinking, and be willing to step out of the box and try something new. So let's ready to go raw?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Bring it, girl.
Well, I know that you have founded the People Skills Academy. And some of you may think, okay, people skills, I think I get what that is. And on the corporate side of the house, they call them now power skills, but they're still the PSs, whether they're people skills, power skills, they are all the same thing. And Nancy, before we get into our conversation, can you just help everyone to understand what it is when we're talking about people skills?
Sure. Thank you so much. Well, let me start by asking the audience a question. And I want you to consider the last week, maybe 2 weeks. I want you to reflect on any time you felt irritated, disappointed, frustrated, ticked off, angry, sad. Was there another human being involved in that interaction? My guess is probably yes. And the People Skills Academy is designed as a go-to resource, equipping us with better skills to interact with one another. I mean, we're living in a day and age of polar opposites when it comes to views and opinions, and you should do this and you shouldn't do this. And it's breaking families apart. It's causing businesses to be disrupted on so many levels. And what I know to be true is that if we had better people skills in listening to one another, in being a stand, remembering that every single human being has value, that there would be less friction and disharmony, disruption, violence happening in our world. So that's why I've brought the People Skills Academy to life at this particular point in history, because we need it.
Yeah, we definitely do, Nancy, and I think you and your company, you're really poised to take advantage of the bigger corporations looking for individuals just like you to come in and teach what we mean about people skills or power skills, because we know, unlike any other time in history, because we are this hybrid environment, in person, virtual, and it will always remain this way and probably end up being more virtual than in person. And especially the world is getting smaller. We need individuals who are able to, as you mentioned, the art of communication, the full circle from listening to negotiating, to collaborating. All of these things are so critical, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an employee, whether you're a parent, building relationships with your children. It's critical, right?
And absolutely critical. And I think one of the most important skills that we all need to sharpen is that of listening. because most of the time when somebody is speaking, we're thinking about our response, or we're in our mind disagreeing with them or agreeing with them as well. And being able to listen from kind of a blank slate of non-judgment allows for new things to be discovered. And it's not easy because we bring with us all of our history and all of the past things and perceptions that we have of a person, right? That may or may not be true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you. And we all know there's Zoom fatigue, right? We're tired of looking at ourselves on screen. Now, how much more important is it to hone our listening skills, to create that level of engagement, even though we can't reach out and physically touch another person?
Mm-hmm. I think that because we are in a world of audio with some visual communication, to be fully present when you are on a Zoom call with somebody. I do multitask. It really raises up the level of value that you place on the other person. Because we all know how it feels when somebody's not fully listening to you. And what we all want is to be heard. So in this virtual environment, we're really called to pay even more attention to the people that we're with in this, online world.
Now, with the People Skills Academy, some individuals may think, okay, well, I feel I'm really good at communicating and I'm a good listener. What can the quote unquote master communicator learn from the People Skills Academy? Because I think we can always continue to learn and develop, especially because you said something earlier, the different opinions that are out there, right?
Yeah. So I believe that sharpening and improving your people skills is an ongoing practice. And I liken it to the practice of yoga. So if you know anybody who's a yogi and they've been doing yoga for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, they still call it the practice of yoga. They call it the practice of medicine. It's an ongoing thing. And even master communicators would agree that every single day, or at least once a week, we are given the opportunity to practice our people skills, because there's a lot of different kinds of people walking around, whether you're driving in traffic, going to the store, or perhaps, like I had to do recently, call the phone company to change my cell phone plan, and then they got it wrong, and then I needed to call back. And it takes a lot not to want to blast that person on the other end of the phone. These are the practical ways that we can all bring more kindness, compassion, and understanding into not only our own experience, but the experience of others. Because we know what, right? So you call the phone company and it doesn't go the way that you want, or you're on hold for 20 minutes or a half hour, whatever the case may be. And then you get up from your phone call or your Zoom call and you're all ticked off and you walk out into the living room with your family, and now you're taking that energy with you. We've all done things. So there's always an opportunity for us to get better, to be better, so that we can enjoy our lives more and the people around us as well.
Now, I know that you're also a neurolinguistic practitioner. How are we able to, you just mentioned, the energy. And again, whether you're an employee or you have your own business, or it's just, you just want to maximize, strengthen, I should say, communication within your family. How can we be more aware of the energy that we're bringing in a room?
A great way so 3 things I'll share. Number 1 is to be intentional with how it is that you want to show up. So, for example, every morning when I wake up, I choose 3 words of who I want to be that day, how I want to show up. Do I want to show up as somebody who's got a short temper, gets irritated quickly, and people are always disappointing me? Not really. But, there are days that you show up like that if you're not consciously and intentionally choosing. So today I get everything that I'm meant to do with grace and ease. Time expands for me. I'm creative, I'm focused, and I'm playful, even when things don't go well. Like that makes for a pretty good day. So that's the first thing, is to be intentional with how you want to experience the day coming forward. The second thing is to create a new higher level of awareness of your language. And this goes to the neurolinguistic piece of it. So when somebody says, how was the restaurant you went to last night? And you say, not bad. Like, okay, are you bringing something that's a higher level energy? And you could say it was good, or it was pretty good, instead of saying it was not bad. So noticing your choice of words and choosing what one of my mentors, Dr. Yvonne Oswald, refers to as high energy words as opposed to low energy words. So low energy words are problem, not. You be mindful when you're shooting on people. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. And be mindful when you're shooting on yourself as well. And that's SHOULD, by the way.
And I've been guilty of that, and I've had to really reprogram myself to catch when I say, well, you should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and me too. And that's where the practice comes in. You are a master communicator, my friend. And as I would consider myself as well. And yet I still need to practice. So watch the words that you're using, because the words we use reflect what's going on in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind reflects our energy and what we bring. When we talk about money, right? So this is business and financial raw talk. Oh, I can't afford that. That's low energy. Right? Maybe you say instead, I learned this from my sister Susan, instead of I can't afford that, oh, I'm in an accumulation phase right now.
I love that.
Isn't that much more positive?
Yes.
Right? I'm not in a spending phase, I'm in an accumulation phase. It feels better. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, to those who are watching us, we are here on Business and Financial Raw Talk with the amazing Nancy Matthews, and we are talking about her new initiative in business, the People Skills Academy, and how it is so important for us to develop and hone our people skills for 2022 and beyond. And before we continue, Nancy, I want the audience to see a video to share a little bit more about you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
If you are looking for an energetic, inspiring, and entertaining speaker who brings value and true connection to your audience, meet Nancy Matthews.
Here's my question. Do you have a dream? Do you have a vision? Is there something burning in your heart?
I had built many businesses, and then I took those skills, business, marketing, sales, and I share them with others to be more successful entrepreneurs.
Nancy Matthews will uplift your audience and give them practical tools for achieving extraordinary results in life and business.
Like, this is the golden rule that we've been taught all our lives, but people forget how to be with each other.
Listen to them, because they will give you the clues of what they want and how you can serve them.
The audience is having a good time, I'm having a good time.
You could feel that. He's committed to his vision and his dream, and that's why he's successful.
Who you're being is really what determines the quality of life that you have.
She's such a pioneer and supporter and champion for women to succeed.
She brings energy and a whole new look at how to relate to people.
She makes sure that you develop the mindset, the habits, the behavior.
I've got to tell you that her work in The One can get you transformed with less time to your full potential.
Because if you're not having fun while you're doing it, stop.
Give your audience an extraordinary experience. Have me come and share about The One philosophy.
You get to claim ownership of it instead of playing the victim.
Remember to treat each and every person you meet as the one, because they are.
I love that. So in that video, there were a couple things that really stood out to me around your book and your philosophy of the one. And then secondly, that you help businesses and individuals achieve results. Mm-hmm. So can we dig a little bit into that and how your one philosophy, People Skills Academy, can intersect to create better results for us in our lives and in our business?
Thank you. What a great question. And as you were asking it, I got those little goosebumps that you get when, something juicy's on its way. And the intersection between the one philosophy, business, family, every aspect of your life, there is one common denominator, and that is people. You want new customers? People. You want new joint venture partners? People. You want your brand to go viral? It's people that are going to watch that video. You want to enjoy love and romance? It's people. Everything is central to how we relate to one another and how we value one another. And the common thread throughout everything I do is first and foremost focused on people. So when you learn to live the one philosophy, and what that means is treating each and every person you meet as the one, the same way that you would if you thought they were your next best client, your potential spouse, the person's that's going to give you a hookup to get tickets to a show or introduce you to Bruce Springsteen, perhaps. All right. When we think we're in the presence of somebody who's the one, you notice this. You'll notice this about yourself. If you think someone's the one, you listen more closely, you pay more attention. In essence, we place more value on people when we think they're the one to do something for us. Now, when you start practicing and playing a game, and that's how this whole concept of the one philosophy began back in 2009 or 10, I just started playing and treating each and every person that I met with that same level of excitement, enthusiasm, and real interest. Who are they? What are they about? And when I started doing this, the most miraculous things started to happen. People opened up to me in ways they never had before. New opportunities presented themselves, and we got to share about our visions and what we really wanted. And if you're a business owner who wants to help someone solve a problem through your products and services and your offerings, having them feel safe enough to tell you what they really want is absolutely essential, because then you're never having to sell them. You're just creating a match of how you can be, provide value to them to make an impact in their life. And in turn, they provide value to you by allowing you to serve them, and they pay you. Like everything starts with people.
I love that. And I'd like you to just unpackage it a little bit more, because I always tell small business owners and entrepreneurs especially that success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. When we think about our big corporations, Coca-Cola, KFC, they all started small. They all started with one or two people and an idea. But like you said, it was the people. It was creating that ongoing relationship, that customer-centric focus, leaning in, hearing what they had to say in order to create that value so that people would want to come back and buy more and do more.
Yeah.
Can you help us to understand how we can take some of those seeds of greatness and plant them in our own businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So think about what it is that your ideal customer is experiencing, going through, what are their challenges, and how do those challenges, the things that you're an expert in helping them solve, how do those challenges impact all areas of their lives? So for example, we work with a lot of women entrepreneurs at Women's Prosperity Network, and they want more clients. So they come in saying, I want to network, I want more customers and clients. Okay. And then I'll ask, so because you need more customers and clients, how else does that impact them? Well, maybe they've been, their confidence might be low because they've been trying to build a business for a couple of years. Maybe their husband is even saying, honey, when are you going to go get a job? Maybe they're working 60, 70, 80 hours and they're not taking care of their physical body anymore because they're just they're working themselves to the bone. And when you learn what your ideal customer is experiencing in all areas of their life, it allows you to fully know them, use language that will serve them, and really be with them, meet them where they're at so you can help get them where they want to go. And a powerful exercise that I teach for this, I learned from Tony Martinez. If you happen to watch this, thank you for this tool. And it is, as you're getting ready to create a new marketing campaign, do posting on social media, do a video to speak to your audience, to get your brand out there and how you provide solutions, do this first. And that is to sit down and write a testimonial letter to yourself, pretending you're your ideal client. And you write this letter from a full perspective, and you might say something like, can I use you as an example?
Sure.
Okay. So you might say something like, Dear LaWanna, thank you is not nearly enough to convey the level of appreciation and value and gratefulness that I am feeling since I first started working with you. I found Celebrate You on Facebook and I joined the group, and immediately I felt welcomed and warmed, and all of the posts and the videos and all of the trainings that you provided helped me feel better about myself, to learn to start to celebrate me. And as I continued to follow you and then eventually started working with you one-on-one, everything in my life opened up. Before finding Celebrate You and working with you, I was about to give up on myself and my business. I didn't even know what I was going to do because I certainly didn't think I was employable anymore. My family life had broken down because I was cranky all the time, so my kids didn't even want to be around me. I didn't have the money to provide for them the way that I really wanted to. Since working with you and learning the structures of business and learning the art of strategic thinking, I have learned how to grow my business by growing myself and celebrating myself. In fact, I just got back from taking my family on a vacation because my business is finally thriving. I've never been happier or healthier, and it's all thanks to you.
Gosh, that felt good.
So when you're thinking about launching a new program or an existing one, and you want to really attract people who need you, who want you, who are ready for you to show up for them, you got to get in their skin and get in their shoes and convey that messaging so that they'll say, wow, she knows me.
I love that.
Focus on the people. And as a matter of fact, when March 2020, the month will go down in history. One of the things that I did with our coaching clients in our community was I found a quote, and it was, when challenge happens, you want to shift your strategy, not your vision.
Exactly.
So what I did, and you and I are so aligned in all of these ways, right, my friend? So what I had everybody do is go back and look at that ideal demographic worksheet that you put together when you started your business. Like, that's a living, breathing thing you should always be looking at, because your ideal client changes and evolves and goes through different stages in life. So I had everybody go back. Let's go back to the drawing board. What are they feeling now? How can you add value to what they're experiencing now? In the same way that you serve, you just change the language up so that you can meet people where they are.
I love that. And that's where, when we attend the People Skills Academy, it helps us to create a greater awareness, how to position ourselves in and around our environment, communicate best with our clients, right? Convey
Yeah.
a sense of empathy and compassion, no matter where they are in their buying journey or life journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I could, I want to use this same concept about focusing on people in corporate environment, because if you think about the typical hierarchies in many businesses, there's this approach with the low person on the totem pole, the receptionist, right? The receptionist is the most important person in your company. That's the first touch with the people that you serve. And too often those, not non-executive employee status positions, those people need to be loved on and honored and celebrated and poured into. Because when you pour into your people pour into the company and the vision, what your company is there to create. Everything boils down to how you value other people.
I love that. One of the an individual, his name is Dr. Nelson, had told me a long time ago, because he's a champion for NASA and just the organizational structure of NASA. And he said, when we were trying to get the man on the moon, you could ask everyone in NASA, from the top scientists to the individual who was pushing a broom. And when you ask them, what are you doing? What is your mission? Every person said to put a man on the moon.
That's awesome.
And that's what we want to do. Whether, we're a small company, a large company, or even our family, we should have a common mission. We should be buying into the who we are and how we're showing up in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if we look at the broader perspective, every single human being just wants to be happy, just wants to be able to get along with people. Like, tell me, like, if wherever you're watching, if you have the ability to communicate, wouldn't you love if people could just get along? Come on. That's what the people skills is about, giving us the tools so we could just get along. And most of the time when we get upset, it's actually not the thing in the moment that would get us upset, but it triggers a memory of something similar that happened in the past. And I learned a long time ago that anger is actually just a different manifestation of fear. We get angry because, oh no, you're not going to do that to me again. We're really afraid. Anger is a mask for fear. So if we could break down some of those walls and find common ground. We're all human beings. It's the human race. One human race.
Yes. That's beautifully said. Well, Nancy, we're almost out of time, and I know I want to give you some time to share some tips, words of wisdom to our audience. So I'm going to take myself down and let you have the floor.
All right. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for being here, being interested in being a better human. That's really what it's all about. And what I thought I would share are the 6 core principles from my book, The One Philosophy. And these 6 core principles are easy to implement in your everyday life. You'll find that just by remembering them, you're going to meet some new extraordinary people. You're going to have great experiences everywhere you go and be surprised by amazing new opportunities that come your way when you place this higher value on human beings. So what I did with the One Philosophy is and let me backstep, because I did not set out to write a book about the One Philosophy. Everything that I've developed as it relates to the One has been organic, and I just keep listening to people telling me what they need and want, and I respond and I produce, and I love to create. So I started talking about the one philosophy back in 2009 or 10, when I first had this awareness of my own behavior in noticing that when I thought somebody was the one, I paid more attention, I listened more closely. Not that I didn't value other people, but I just noticed this trend in human behavior. And I started that experiment of treating every single person I meet as the one. And it's so amazing. You're going to love the feeling when you're with somebody, even at the supermarket, let's say, and they say, "How are you today?" And then you actually look in their eyes and listen. And you say, "I'm doing really good. How's your day going so far? How's your shift been? You seeing lots of good customers?" Like, actually engage and be with them. They're going to be so appreciative that you're actually with them and listening to them. And so just that one piece is going to make a difference in your life. So I started this experiment. And then after I had been speaking on it for a couple of years, people started asking me, "Oh, you have a book on this?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I need to write a book about this." And here's how I came up with the 6 principles. If I am going to be the one who consistently treats everyone that I meet as the one, how do I need to show up? Because everything begins and ends with me. So that's where the 6 principles of the one philosophy came in. There are these guiding principles so that you can treat everyone you meet as the one. And I use the 6 letters of THEONE to guide you in this teaching. So the first principle is the letter T, and it stands for talk less and listen more. And we touched upon this earlier in the interview. So it means really listen, be fully present when someone is speaking, and do your best to turn off that little mind chatter that's planning what it is that you're going to say next. Be fully present. The second letter is the letter H, and that stands for hold and hone your vision. Because you, my friend, have a unique desire, imprint, gifts, and talents that you want to bring to the world that only you can bring. And I want you to think about this beautiful life that we get to live as a big, gigantic puzzle. And every single piece is different. And the puzzle cannot be completed without your unique piece. So what is that unique piece that you're here to bring? So we want to hold and hone our vision and tell other people about it so that the universe and the forces can conspire in your favor to bring people into your path that are actually that connecting puzzle piece, because your vision connects to someone else's vision. And that's, we're meant to do world and do this world and do this life together. So hold and hone your vision. And you may say, well, what does that look like? Well, spend some time thinking about what really matters to you. What do you love to do? What is the type of world that you want to be living in? And then go about, start creating it. Inside of the book, I've got some great activities for you to really melt into. What is the vision? What is it that you want to create? So get the book. That's a good idea, of course, but hold your vision and then share it with others so that the universe can conspire in your favor to bring that vision to life. And a perfect example of this is Women's Prosperity Network. I started this in late 2007 with my 2 sisters as my business partner. And our vision was to be an international global community for women entrepreneurs coming together, supporting each other, women treating each other with kindness and respect and valuing and no back talk and, good stuff. A community where everybody treats each other as the one is what we wanted to create. And in order to do that, we saw other women sharing the message of the one philosophy. So as we talked about this beautiful community of women supporting each other and getting the tools and resources to grow themselves and their businesses, and somebody said, I have a similar vision. Well, we have a business model. How about we partner up? And then we had chapter leaders and ambassadors. And through that sharing of the vision, holding it, honing it, we are a global organization. So what is it that you want? Spend time really lingering and focusing on your vision. So that's the letter H. The next letter, the letter E, is to exhibit exemplary behavior. Now, what does that mean? That means knowing your values, taking action in accordance with your own values, and exhibiting behavior that causes other people to trust you, to want to be around you, to admire you. Exemplary means worthy of reputation. So think about the people you most admire and respect. They probably have similar values to you. You know, they operate with integrity. They're honest, whatever your values are. So take a look at exhibiting exemplary behavior, which basically means be someone that you would love to be around. The next letter, O, is to own your life with 100% responsibility. What that means is we give up blaming and complaining others for what's happening in our life right now. And yes, the world is different. And yes, there have been hardships, and I'm not taking away any of the tragedies that have occurred. But the tragedies occurred. When we own our life with 100% responsibility, it puts us into a place of power right now in the moment to make some new choices, to move in a new direction, as opposed to when we say our condition is because of outside circumstances. You have no control. And one thing that human beings love to have and thrive on is feeling they're in control. So when you own your life with 100% responsibility, it gives you back your power. The next letter, the letter N, is for never, 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 never gossip. Don't speak ill of other people, because I don't know about you, but when I hear somebody come to me to gossip about someone else's business, I'm thinking, well, I wonder what they say about me to other people. I was giving a presentation a few years ago, and when I got to this principle, I heard someone at the back of the room say, "Ooh, that's hard." And I was like, okay, it could be, not easy. And I would switch my language on that. Maybe it's not easy, but try this on. As a rule of thumb, make a commitment to never say something about someone that you wouldn't be willing to say to their face. So just think about it beforehand, before you open your mouth. Would you say this thing to the other person's face? So if you're going to talk about somebody's, behavior, do you see how drunk she was? Oh, can't believe she did this or that. Wait a minute. Would I say this to this person's face? Now, little caveat here. Sometimes you're going to be ticked off, angry, disappointed, and need to bitch and moan a little bit. And I get it. And I want you to get that out. But where I want you to get that out is with somebody that you trust, that knows I'm just venting, I'm just dumping, because you do have to get it out of you. That we are emotional beings and we need to go through the ride. Maybe you write it down on a piece of paper, but get it out of you. Just don't go spraying it all over the place. The last letter for the one philosophy is to exercise your mind and your spirit daily. So when you wake up in the morning, instead of turning on the news or pulling out your phone and being sucked into everybody else's life and drama and all the stuff that's going on, commit. Who do I want to be today? How do I want to feel today? How do I want to experience this day? Start your day off with a practice of gratitude. And I promise you that you will never again wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So live the one philosophy. It's the path to a better life, not only for you, but also for humanity. Because consider this, imagine and co-create this with me, if you would. Imagine a world where everywhere you go, people are treating each other as the one. They're listening, they're listening more closely, valuing other people's opinions and visions and desires and what they want to bring to the world. They're speaking kindness about one another. They're operating with exemplary behavior. That's the world we have the power to co-create when we're brave enough to look at ourselves and commit to improving our people skills, our communication with others, as well as with ourselves every single day. So thank you so much, LaWanna, for giving me this opportunity.
This was great. Thank you so much, Nancy. I appreciate you being here, returning to Business and Financial Raw Talk. We definitely need to have you come back. Let us know what's going on with the People Skills Academy. And with the Academy, is there a registration time or is it just ongoing membership? Tell us a little bit about how they do.
Yeah, so they can, when they go to the website, every couple of months, I do a speaker series or a symposium so people can get a taste and a feel. Registration for the class curriculum is open. We have a combination of an amazing library of resources, as well as twice a month, we do live classes for our enrolled students. And so check it out and join us.
Fantastic. Well, Nancy, again, thank you so very much for joining us. And I know you have to run off, but we're going to still talk a little bit about the one philosophy and
thank you.
These amazing 6 principles that you gave us.
Thank you so much, LaWanna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And until we meet again, just get out there and be the one. Yes. Bye, LaWanna. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Wow. Was that great? I told you were in for a treat. Nancy Matthews is phenomenal. And get the book, The One Philosophy. I also had her on a show that I also do called Power of the Pen, where we feature authors and we spoke about the one philosophy. And these 6 principles, when you sit in them and you go through the exercises, sometimes we think, oh, I got this. But then there's little triggers that I could do this a little bit better. And we know the saying, when you know better, you do better. And the one philosophy helps us to show up as a better version of ourselves. And then, only then, can we truly be the change and influence that we want to see in the world. Like she said, starting off with the one, talking less, listening more. Right? Listening more, leaning in, being interested in others. And when you are interested in others, you then in turn become interesting. She said to hold fast to your vision. That is so key because so often we lose confidence in that dream and we start to jump on other bandwagons instead of just being true to who we are, being our authentic self, showing up in that. And she said to exhibit that exemplary behavior, right? What are those values that, again, make you memorable? And owning, this was a hard one for me. Owning your actions, taking 100% responsibility, because it's so easy to point the fingers, to blame, to come up with excuses. My business partner, Rick Spann, will say any excuse will do. So we got to get rid of the excuses and say, okay, I own this. I am co-creating this world, this experience around me. And I can choose to co-create a good experience or a bad experience. I can choose to respond with positive energy or negative energy. The choice is mine. Then she said, never, 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 never gossip. How easy is it? Because we've got something stuck in our craw, we're a little upset, and we'll go run to that next person who's going to lean in and listen and give us that ear. But she did say something very key. If someone is willing to gossip to you about someone else, who are they gossiping about you to? You follow me, right? And then she said to exercise your mind and your spirit daily. Our mental and our spiritual health are so critical. And when we are able to exercise that, we find that we end up loving ourselves even more. And when we love ourselves even more, that radiates outward. And one of the things that Sammy Blundell says, and she's with the One Drop movement out of the UK, she says, then we could be a ripple around the world. So we want to be ripple makers. So I encourage you to go to Amazon.com where you can get the One Philosophy, join the People Skills Academy, just check out what they're doing, what skills that they have that you can, or resources and tools that they have that you can strengthen your skill set. Remember the world is changing. The world is rapidly changing. And as we preface the beginning of the interview, your big businesses, Nancy's calling them people skills, but they're called the power skills. Corporations are looking for individuals that are very savvy in communicating, negotiating with those power skills, with those skills that enable you to interact in a way that is respectful, that allows you to be understood yet understand. And we also know in this time when diversity and inclusion and equity and belonging is so important, you can't do that without having people skills. We can throw laws at the books, we can throw processes and guidelines, even mandates. But if we don't get the heart and mind right, if we don't start to respect one another, as Nancy says, the human race, one to another, then we're just playing. So let's get serious. Let's take in and be influential in our sphere of influence. Let's hone our people skills every single day. Be mindful. Think about the one philosophy principles, and I just want to read them again. We want to talk less, listen more. We want to hold on to our vision, exhibit exemplary behavior. We want to take ownership, 100% responsibility of our actions. Stop gossiping, never gossip. We want to exercise our minds and our spirits. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. Oh, we've got another comment here. Thankfully, corporate has switched to calling these power skills instead of soft skills. Exactly. I love whoever said this. You were spot on. When we say soft skills, we're sort of relegating them to less than. So yes, they are power skills. They are as equally, or if not more important than those technical skills. So thank you so much for mentioning that. And you're going to love what the letter reveals. Go deep and wide and get into what they are experiencing. Yes. Thank you all so much for joining us for another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. We are here with you every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. We look forward to seeing you next time. Again, I'm LaWanna Bradford, and I just encourage you to remember that when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Until next time.